Welcome to another edition of the Rome News-Tribune Studio Central Face to Face. I'm Doug Walker. Our very special guest on this edition, Greg Richardson. Greg is with 7Hills Makerspace and one of the leading developers of a new, I'm not sure whether I should call it facility, exactly what, Crowdfiber. And we're going to be hearing a lot more about Crowdfiber in the course of the next coming couple of weeks. But Greg, let's start off by telling us a little bit initially about 7Hills Makerspace, exactly what a makerspace is.
A makerspace is, these have popped up all around the country and around the world over the past few years. And they're basically locations, typically a building or a facility or an office where a group of people have gotten together and formed what is essentially a membership. These are creative types, technical people, geeks, artists of all types. And they get together and focus on collaborating on making things. And those kinds of projects range all over the board. The things that they make can be electronic gadgets, they can be arts and crafts oriented, they can even be music related things. So makerspaces are really, I think, the best definition. They're hard to define, but I think I would define them as member-based collectives that are focused on some type of creative making.
And Crowdfiber is not far from that in terms of concept, is it?
It's not far from that in the sense that it helps people organize together as peers and affect some kind of change. In the case of Crowdfiber, it's focused on trying to affect or build fiber networks in communities.
And specifically, I guess right here in Rome, we are blessed in that we have got fiber in how much of the downtown area?
So there's fiber in the downtown area and what in the industry we call middle mile. And basically that means that it goes along major roads, but it doesn't necessarily reach all of the individual houses and businesses within that area.
So Crowdfiber will attempt to do what?
So Crowdfiber is a website. You go to the website and you can be an interested citizen who wants to have fiber service at their home, faster internet, possibly better prices or more competition at their home. Can be a business owner who wants similar things for their business. And you go to this website and you have the ability to search for your address, so your address of your home or business. And when you search for your address, the site tells you whether or not you're in what we call an active campaign area. A Crowdfiber campaign is something that's been set up. In the case of Rome, we have a campaign that's been set up and will be activated on Tuesday here in the downtown area. And those campaigns basically say if enough of you in the community will commit to become customers of this new fiber service, then that service will be made available to everyone.
And I guess you all are working in conjunction with Dave Parker and the Parker FiberNet folks?
That's right. David Parker and Parker FiberNet, we've been working on a project over the past 3 years to build a regional fiber network that goes all the way from Lafayette in the north to Douglasville down in the south and even over into Alabama. And that network is a middle mile network, as I described it. Parker FiberNet is also what we call, with Crowdfiber, the campaign owner for this downtown zone. So they set the campaign up on the site, they define the boundaries of where the campaign is being run, and define what are called pledge levels. So when you go to a crowdfunding site, it offers you the ability to back a project, and in exchange for backing it, you get some kind of benefit. That may be, those could be products, could be services, and in this case you would be essentially backing the project in order to become a customer.
So the funding that is raised through Crowdfiber will be earmarked specifically for Rome and Floyd County and this particular geographic area.
That's right. One of the neat things about this project is how much of it has been homegrown, local, and how much of it circulates in the community. My business, my consulting business that Crowdfiber grew out of is based here in Rome. David Parker is based here as well with Parker FiberNet. And Sci Digital, the company that has been our software development and our marketing partner, is also based here in Rome. So once this project takes off, we have the ability to circulate the value of this network very, very much on a local basis.
Well, where exactly is the fiber available in Rome at this point? How far off of Broad Street, say, does it go?
So the campaign zones, this will be published on Tuesday with a big map, and it'll show exactly what the boundaries are. It's basically 1st Street West, which is over on the municipal city and county side of Broad Street, back to 3rd Street East, back in the direction of the other river, and on the sides it really goes from First Avenue to Turner McCall. So it's almost the whole Between the Rivers district, with the exception we couldn't, in this first campaign, we couldn't reach some of the almost purely residential areas that are I guess, that's south.
All right. Tell us a little bit, if you could, about the advantages of fiber itself. I suspect maybe some of our viewers are familiar with dial-up service. Some are maybe familiar with a T1 line or a cable line. How much faster is fiber?
So fiber allows a service provider like Parker FiberNet to deliver services at various speed levels. So the fiber doesn't define the speed level. I'll avoid some of the acronyms, but most people are familiar with a service they'd get at home that might be 3 megabits per second, or you might subscribe to a service that is 6 megabits per second. Fiber allows you the ability to, with the services that will be available here in Rome, to have a service that's about 200 times that speed. It's almost unimaginable. Most of us have never used an internet connection like that, but along that same scale of, let's say, a DSL service that might be 6 megabits per second, you might have a cable internet service, and that might be 10 or 20 or possibly even 50 megabits per second. This service would be 1,000 megabits per second. And so it's really a breakthrough in terms of the kinds of services that are available today.
Now, I am absolutely not going to remember the data correctly from the Confluence conference, but I believe one of the presenters showed some slides as it related to fiber, and indicated this would be particularly beneficial, well, let's just say for the healthcare industry. I mean, as we're going in the direction of electronic medical records, somebody can transmit complex radiological data just at warp speed.
That's absolutely right. It's a great point, and currently Parker FiberNet already connects, I believe it's somewhere around 40 or 50 medical institutions with the network that exists today. So those are big, as you pointed out, those are big institutional uses. They have very high bandwidth needs. Many of those are connected already to the fiber network, but in the healthcare field there's a big push towards being able to provide remote care. So the ability for a clinic to be connected at those speeds is only valuable in the future to the extent that people in their homes, or possibly even clinics located at businesses, can also connect at those speeds. A network is only as fast as its slowest link, is one of the things that's often said. So it's critically important with the healthcare community here that we not only connect healthcare institutions at high speeds, but we also continue to advance the speeds that people are connected to in remote locations.
Well, this is fascinating, and it just seems like technology is growing exponentially. What's next? You're on that cutting edge. What's next?
Well, I think Crowdfiber is this service that we'll be launching next week. It's really not a fiber network. It's not an infrastructure. I think what Crowdfiber finally provides is the ability for communities, individuals, businesses, community organizations, municipalities, and service providers to sort of be more efficient about their collective action. A lot of communities want to do this, and many of them have people who are motivated. They have organizations with resources, but in the past it's been very difficult to organize all of those and get them working together towards the goal. So we think Crowdfiber is important because it empowers a large number of people, the crowd, as we might say, and it empowers them to do something and allows them to organize better. So I think the first thing we think is that Crowdfiber is part of what's next, but there are other trends as well, and I think some of those things will start to come to light as we look towards the Confluence event you mentioned for 2014.
And I believe that the actual address that folks will be able to go to look is simply crowdfiber.com?
That's right. They can go to crowdfiber.com. Currently, until our launch on Tuesday, there's just a statement on the site that says we've been in private beta. There's a form you can fill out, and if you put your name and email address in, you'll get all of the announcements about the launch, and you'll be kept up to date about the service. You can also go to blog.crowdfiber.com, B-L-O-G, and you'll find some of the inspiration for the project, some of the articles that we've written in terms of describing how it works.
Well, Greg, thank you very much for being with us, and thank you for being with us on another edition of Face to Face.